Intensifying manhunt in South Florida after the mass shooting outside a banquet hall. Authorities releasing this surveillance video of the three suspects in that SUV pulling up to the scene. There you see
where three subjects stepped out of the vehicle with assault rifles and handguns and began shooting indiscriminately into the crowd.
A terrible tragedy.
The grieving parent of one of the two people killed in a shooting outside a Miami concert venue.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Mula shooting. Now, this thing has grown legs and become a national story. This isn't just a local story anymore. This isn't just a hip-hop story anymore. This is a story that's taken on national notice because it went from being the Mula Banquet Hall shooting to almost being called the Mula Banquet Hall Massacre. Now, when a report was originally made, it was reported that 20 people had been injured and 2 people had lost their life, sad to say, right? Now those numbers have grown. It's gone to 21 people have been injured and 1 person additionally have lost their life. So the death total now is 3 people have lost their life. This thing is going out of control and people are trying to find answers because of how organized and coordinated the gunmen were in this situation. Now, this is going to flip everybody out, but it all ties back to a hip-hop beef law enforcement sources are saying. Now, I'm going to be very delicate on who I place in this and just use the names who are on the flyer because there's a lot of rumors that are going out there, right? Now, this is a separate incident from any of the other major incidents that took place that weekend, but this is the most widely known right now. Now, before we get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this Mula Banquet Hall shooting, man. Now, I did the original story about it when it happened, man. And there were a couple of rappers involved, man. And those rappers who were involved, I'm going to keep it real. They've gone dark on social media. They're not talking about the incident. And I'm not sure is that because they're one of the people who were hurt in the incident or they're one of the people who are just trying to make sure they stay up out of this because they don't want it associated with their brand. It could be either or, right? But one thing is for certain. Some armed gunmen pulled up to a venue that was having a local rap show in celebration of an album or mixtape release and started opening fire indiscriminately on the crowd. This is one of the most brazen and bold attacks in South Florida history, man. Wild to say the least. And everybody hates that hip hop is associated with this. But what was even more confusing and crazy about this story is the number of victims being 21 hurt and then 3 people losing their life. People who were just going to a banquet hall to watch a concert. People who were showing up to a show just to enjoy themselves for Memorial Day weekend. So it obviously caught national notice and law enforcement is on the job. Now the shooting took place early Sunday morning, but you won't believe how many details have come out since then. We've actually seen the video footage of the gunman going up to the venue and starting to shoot at the people. It's wild enough, man. Then we gotta look from the club's entrance of people waiting to get into the venue getting fired upon, man. Now, as the details come out, law enforcement is saying that this all goes back to a rap feud, man. Now, I'm gonna be quoting a story from the Tampa Bay Times, and they're using a story that they just, bounced off of the Miami Herald, and it basically says this. It says, fatal shootings at Miami rap concert may be tied to songs, police say. The scene became even more chaotic when some people in the crowd returned fire Sunday after 3 gunmen shot into a crowd, killing 2 and injuring 21. Now, at that time, that's where the totals. Now, today we found out there was actually 3 people who have lost their lives now, and it was a young lady, and we're going to get to that in a second, right? Now, in this report, they say this. Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man, and I know you enjoying this video, but make sure you go and you follow me on social media platforms like Instagram, and also go to my Twitter page and make sure you hit that follow button there so you can get the latest and greatest updates of when I'm dropping my videos. And man, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button so we can spread this video around, and we trying to get 2,000 likes, so run them likes up. All right, so the story continues like this. It says the shooting early Sunday morning that killed 2 people and left 21 others wounded was likely a dispute between 2 rival groups that came to a head over things said in rap songs or social media posts. Alfredo Ramirez III, director of Miami-Dade County Police Department, told reporters Monday. So all that shooting and all that stuff is being linked to a rap feud, man. So they continued to talk. I guess they had some type of public meeting so that way they could talk to the public. And you know, the mayor could address this, the chief of police could address it, and the guy who's the director, Mr. Ramirez. And he was basically giving his speech, and he got interrupted by some gentleman whose son was one of the victims in the shooting. Now, at that point, there were only 2 victims in the shooting. Not to say like that's only 2 victims. You got 2 people who lost their lives, and they were only showing up to watch a rap concert. So it's a horrible situation. I don't want to tread lightly on that. You know what I mean? But the story continues to say that multiple law enforcement sources identified the deceased on Monday afternoon. So these 2 people were dead or pronounced dead at the scene. And this was a gentleman by the name of Desmond Owens and a gentleman by the name of Clayton Dillard III. Both men were 26 years old. Now, one of their fathers jumped up and interrupted everything. I mean, you've probably seen the video on social media. He interrupted the whole speech that they were giving, the mayor, the director, all these people, and he did this. Man, let me play a little bit of that clip.
For a terrible tragedy.
You all killed my kid. You must burn. You gotta burn. You hear me?
The grieving parent of one of the 2 people killed in a shooting outside a Miami concert venue lashing out during a press conference Monday.
That is the pain that affects our community right there, right before you.
And what's crazy about this situation is the father there that you've seen in the clip going off, he went off at the very first press conference as well. This was before the news of an additional person being killed. Now, a story came out today of a 3rd person that lost their life behind this shooting. I guess they had been fighting for their life all week, and finally they succumbed to their wounds, or, you know, their gunshot wounds from the situation. In a news story that just came out a few hours ago, it says this. The headline says, death toll rises in mass shooting outside of Miami Banquet Hall as 3rd victim dies. Now, the story continues by saying, this is breaking news and will be updated when new information is available. A 3rd person shot in the mass shooting outside of Mula Banquet Hall has died, the Miami Herald has learned. The woman died Thursday, 4 days after she was shot in the head outside of the venue hosting a rap concert early Sunday morning. She was among 21 people wounded when 3 masked gunmen opened fire on the crowd outside the banquet hall. Now, it goes on to say that Miami-Dade police on Thursday night identified her as Shankia Lachelle Peterson, 32 years old. Now, they continue by saying this. 2 men already identified as Desmond Owens and Clayton Dillard III, both 26, died Sunday morning. Miami-Dade Police Director Alfredo Freddy Ramirez said in a tweet, "No family should have to suffer such loss. We are working around the clock relentlessly to bring these killers to justice." Now, you got to stop right there. You know that with all the publicity, I'm talking about, this is getting national headlines all over the place on some of the major news networks. Just like a lot of these shootings that are viewed that heavily and that highly, they're gonna start to incorporate some other resources and try to find out who these shooters were that showed up to this banquet hall and took these people's life. Now, what's crazy is they were covering their tracks from the get-go. And if you look, there's a long version of the video of the people waiting outside of the banquet hall to get in. I guess it's one of the rappers, their entourage, and a couple of other people just waiting to set up and get in there, right? And the people who were in the white SUV, you see them drive by. It's kind of eerie to say this, but they drive by initially, go park. You can see them park. They're parked, they're sitting there for a while. Then they come back out. drive by again, drive down the road a little bit, and that's where you can see where they hop out or whatnot, man. It's wild to say the least, man. Wild story. Sad about and her family. Sad about the two other gentlemen and their family. You know, rest in peace to them. And this has got to stop. This is wild, man. When you just can't have a rap show or a show, period, and people just don't show up to, like, why would you settle your differences there when there's innocent people all over the place who just want to go see a concert, man? I mean, I know I'm sounding like a goofy and a lame for saying all this, but come on, man. At some point, you got to be human about this, and you got to take it into account the other people who are out there, man. You know, everybody can't be O-Dog, you know, whatever. Now, with that, what do you guys think about this situation? What do you think about the new victim? And do you think that since more people were taken to the hospital and there could be potential other victims who lose their life in this shooting, what will that do in the future for South Florida local rap shows like this? Do you think this venue will ever have another rap show again? I looked at the venue's page and it looked like they had another event supposed to be scheduled for that weekend. And I don't know if this has messed up their reputation. Hopefully not, man, because their name is getting thrown around in this and you hate to see that for a business, you know? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.